Spider-Man 2018 is one of the best video games currently available on the PS5. And if you're anything like me, you're desperately awaiting the day on October 20th when Spider-Man 2 comes out on PS5 later this year. We've seen some of the biggest villains so far, such as the Lizard, Kraven the Hunter, and of course, we have to remember Venom. It's kind of hard to forget him when he's all over the marketing for this game. We've also seen some of the story beats of the new game. With all we've seen from the gameplay, the trailers, the official product releases, and everything else, it seems like this game is poised to be one for the history books. Which is why I'm wondering, is Marvel's Spider-Man 2 the best superhero game of all time? We already have a good amount of knowledge about this game. Like I've said, we've seen a lot of the main villains and are loosely familiar with where they fit into the story of the game. Kraven the Hunter discovers Spider-Man in New York and travels all the way from the jungle to go and hunt him. Kraven the Hunter hunts again. It probably gets more complicated than that, considering that we see Miles Morales fighting off Kraven, and we can assume that Kraven is also hunting Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard, as well. That being said, there's a lot of the story that we don't know about. For example, how does the Lizard get involved with Kraven the Hunter and Spider-Man? How does he get in between the two of them? Could it be related to the Venom symbiote? Are they trying to find a cure for Harry for his terminal illness? And how specifically does Peter wind up bonding with the symbiote? Obviously, if any of you watching are comic book fans, specifically of Spider-Man comics, you'll know that Peter does wind up bonding with the symbiote eventually. But Insomniac has said that this is a new identity for Venom, and it's likely to assume that with a new identity also comes a new origin. So what are the circumstances that Peter would encounter the symbiote and bond with it in this game? And even more importantly, who is Venom? Most people probably assume this is just going to be another Eddie Brock story as the iconic host of Venom, but Insomniac has already stated in press briefings that the symbiote is not Eddie Brock. Now, my most obvious next choice for who is Venom would be Harry Osborn, considering that we see him in a post-credit scene of Spider-Man 2018 bonded in the symbiote inside of his isolation chamber, and supposedly this is the only thing that's keeping Harry alive. So I was wondering if that was going to be our Venom, if there was going to be Harry Osborn as Venom instead of Eddie Brock for once. But that's also been done in the comics. And based off of Insomniac statements, we can rule out Harry as being the main host of Venom as well. I'm really interested to see who they pick as the main host for Venom, considering that they said it hasn't been done in the comics or the movies before, and this is a whole new origin and identity for the symbiote. So what that means, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see in October to find out. We also see Kurt Connors and Norman Osborn in the secret lab that Harry is contained in. Venom is very likely going to be the factor that ends up tying the three of those people together. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that, as well as who the main host of the symbiote ends up being. Personally, I'm kind of at a loss for who the symbiote's main host could be because, like they said, it hasn't been done before, and I have no idea who Insomniac would choose. So we just have to wait and see in October. An even larger deal than the identity of Venom would be the expectations that Insomniac now has to meet based off of the 2018 game. If any of you are familiar with Insomniac's other work not related to Spider-Man, such as Ratchet & Clank or even the Resistance games if you're a real fan of them, you'll know that this studio has some of the most talented people in the games industry, and they have a consistent high bar for quality that they hit all the time. In terms of gameplay, story, characters, lore, it's always top tier if it's from Insomniac Games. And one of the main challenges of being one of the strongest game development studios in the industry is you end up competing with yourself. In other words, you have to exceed your own expectations that you've set or your own quality standards that you've set. Since the hype train for Spider-Man 2 is reaching a fever pitch from the initial reveal back in 2021, all people can ask is, how is this game going to top the last one? And that's a fair question to ask. With major story events happening in Spider-Man 2018, such as Miles Morales' father dying and him getting his powers, how can Insomniac exceed the experience they've already provided? Personally, even though I'm not sure how they're going to exceed these expectations, I'm confident that they will. I mean, when the creative director of Insomniac offers commentaries such as, "This is our Empire Strikes Back," referencing the significantly darker tone of the film, it fills gamers like me with confidence that Insomniac knows exactly what they're doing, and they are getting ready to blow our minds on October 20th. After all, if they don't consider something like Aunt May dying as very dark, then what the hell are they planning to do in the next game? I, for one, can't wait to find out. In terms of gameplay, Spider-Man 2 looks very similar to its predecessor, with notable improvements such as the wingsuit for each Spider-Person, and being able to switch between Miles and Peter at will, similar to how GTA 5 implemented that concept back in 2013. Miles looks like he's got some new Venom attacks, and it's been confirmed by Insomniac that the new web swinging will be much faster than in 2018. Although, a question that I'm wondering about now is, will we be able to control Venom? Because There are two main games I think about when I think of the best Spider-Man game. I think of Spider-Man 2018, but also Ultimate Spider-Man from 2005. One of the best features in Ultimate Spider-Man was being able to control Venom in certain parts of the story. I mean, running up the walls, leaping buildings in a single bound, sometimes multiple buildings in a single bound, completely bodying people with your tentacles, even feeding on people to regain health, really made you feel like you were living the Venom fantasy. So if Insomniac were able to top themselves this time around by making Venom playable, especially this Venom, because come on, look how cool he looks. Making Venom a playable character would solidify in every gamer's mind that this is the premier Spider-Man game and perhaps even the best superhero game. It also looks like we'll be seeing numerous 2018 characters return in Spider-Man 2, such as Martin Lee as Mr. Negative, and the Black Cat as well, and even Doc Ock. And who knows, maybe some more people end up breaking out of the raft and Peter and Miles end up having to stop them as well. But we'll have to wait and see on that. All this to say, we still have no idea what a lot of the key details of Spider-Man 2 are going to be about, and Insomniac Games 100% are keeping details hidden from us. I mean, we had no idea that Miles Morales was going to be in Spider-Man 2018, and he ended up getting his powers in that game as well. Hell, we had no idea that Aunt May was going to die in 2018 either, but here we are. So honestly, anything can happen in Spider-Man 2, and I'm all for it. One thing is certain though, Spider-Man 2 will be one of the best superhero games of all time. Who do you think will be Venom? Do you think we'll get to see Norman Osborn as the Green Goblin? Will there be a Puddlegate 2? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. We publish brand new content every day, so there's always something new for you to watch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.